Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chelsea Roar, the Chelsea show by the fans, for you, the fans, with me, as always, your host, Ian Kelly. And once again, I am joined today by returning guest, a man who has an opinion that everyone is entitled to, Mr.
Correct.
Billy Brown. Billy, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me back. I'm surprised you had me back after last time.
Jeez, great feedback after the last time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but because everyone's entitled to my opinion, they don't necessarily want it.
Well,
but they get it anyway.
Well, they get mine every other day as well, though, don't they? So it's just one of those things. I'm not going to lie, Billy. I've stolen it from you in certain parts of life in recent times. I've always given you credit, though. I've always said
that's fine.
I've always said I didn't make it. So that's the main thing. So it's been
just send me a check every time you use it.
Absolutely, copyrights in the mail. We're here to talk about Chelsea. Obviously, been a bit of a crazy summer. Once again, a fan base divided. But like we said last time, I don't know whether it's necessarily a fan base divided. I think it's more that they're Twitter fans. There's a big difference with real Chelsea fans and Twitter fans, and everybody can easily mark them out.
There's two lots of Twitter fans. There's the jet fans and there's the plastic fans who have never seen Chelsea struggle and just think they've only joined. They became Chelsea supporters beginning of the century, so they've seen us win everything, but they haven't seen the shit years, which I have seen. Yes,
both of us unfortunately have seen them, but it's the journey that gets you there, which is what makes it exciting.
Exactly.
It's been an interesting summer. Pre-season was a bit shit, if we're going to be honest, in terms of results on the pitch. However,
we played 4 games and we lost 2 of them, one on penalties and hammered by Arsenal, which really wasn't good. I know it's only a friendly, but you don't want to get hammered.
No, but I suppose on the flip side of things, we've seen United fans get excited about their pre-season, yet they've signed nobody. And it's still pretty much they signed Christian Eriksen, but that was on a freebie, and some left back or full back, whatever. But they haven't got the players that they want, which we're going to get onto later because that's where Chelsea come in. Okay. But with ourselves, I suppose it was a case. A, it was fitness. B, it was brand awareness. You can probably see I'm wearing an Orlando jersey, but I've had this for many a year because I'm an Orlando fan. But yeah, it was a bit of brand awareness on Bowley. It was always going to happen. I think that was successful in that sense. I think we've definitely done a great marketing job in the US. The boys definitely look a little bit fitter. Haven't watched the Udinese games. A bit more cohesion in there, and now we've got our 2 new signings fully integrated, obviously into the team.
Going back to that, Udinese are not exactly a powerhouse in Italian football.
No, but Arsenal aren't exactly a powerhouse of English football either. So I would take anything.
But we lost 4 them.
Exactly. So it's a bit of progress, let's say. But no, I think for a lot of people doubting, I've had Ben Jacobs on the show a couple of times, which you probably saw. And then obviously we've heard other journalists, reliable journalists, say, look, it's all about patience for Chelsea in this window. We've seen Bowley really step it up. I've seen Bowley coming under criticism from Gary Neville and all these jabronis recently, not realizing that the man is literally only in a job 5 or 6 weeks and literally has to do it all himself. I think people are having a pop at him because they think that he wants to be, Rambo and do everything himself. He's in a position where he actually has to do it at the moment.
I think Chelsea fans have got to accept that the next couple of seasons we might not win anything, that we've got to start going back to basics again. We've got to obviously bring in some players. One of the major things that we didn't bring in this season was an out-and-out goal scorer. That was for me the biggest minus side of their signing. Sterling, I think, is a great signing. The other 2, I know we're after the Brighton defender as well, who's good, but obviously we're going to lose one of our youngsters in the process. And we're known for our academy, but we seem to not give a lot of our academy players a great chance. We seem to just breed them, do well with them, and then sell them off, which maybe it's a good business thing. I don't really know. but I'd like to see some of the players get more of a chance than they do get. Broker, if that's how you pronounce his name, I never know if it's Broja or Broker, but either way, I'm pleased that he's staying, and hopefully he'll do something. But we still need another striker. He would be like our reserve striker, a bit like when we had Drogba and we had reserve strikers there if you need him, if he's injured or suspended or whatever. And that's what we're lacking, is a proper centre forward, unless TT has got a totally different vision and he thinks the type of football I want to play doesn't require a centre forward, which we're used to with the Hasselbanks, the Dixons, the Osgoods, the Drogbas and the Costas. Maybe his system is not an out-and-out striker, but more of a Man City type thing where they don't have a centre forward and lots of players score goals from different parts. And maybe that's what his plans are. But I think we need to accept that we might have a couple of seasons where we're not going to win anything. We might not even qualify for the Champions League. And that's fine. We've won everything the last 16, 17 years. We've won everything you could possibly want to win. And we can't expect to win everything every single time. So maybe we need a couple of seasons of solidifying what we've got and building that up to start, gunning for the Premiership.
Well, I mean, I've got a bit more of a positive slant. I mean, look, I think we're still guilty as fans of talking about the previous regime as if it's still the same, because it's really not.
No, it's not.
The academy days and this farming out youth players, we can't really pin that on the new ownership because, I mean, they're only here 6 weeks. We're putting all our eggs into the Levi Colwill basket off the back of a championship season, when you're after bringing in a Koulibaly, who's one of the world's best players, when we're potentially going to bring in Fofana, who is absolutely a dead on to be a world-class central defender. Thiago Silva's still there.
And the Spanish Brighton defender as well. Who's,
Cucurella. That looks like it's pretty much done, just not announced yet. So it's not all doom and gloom. And also the Levi Colwill deal, apparently it's going to be either a loan or it's a permanent move with a buyback option. So don't forget, you cannot loan out as many players as we could in the past. So this new buyback option is quite tactical, I think, quite tactful, because
it's fine.
Next year we have the potential to buy back Mark Gahey and Livramento as well, don't forget. So don't forget Lewis Bate, who was at Leeds, was the next big thing, and now he's gone down to Oxford. So I think the Cobham Sexuals I heard on Twitter, which I thought was quite a funny name. I just thought that was quite a funny joke, a little bit of banter. Look, I'm all for graduates coming in, but let's not fool ourselves. Tuchel brought Chalobah in last year when nobody thought Chalobah would be a player that's coming through the system. Let's not forget he gave minutes to the likes of Harvey Vale, who was still pretty much 17 at the time. He had them up in and around the squad, and now this year we've got Conor Gallagher into the squad. I know people say that was a dead certain, but it may not have been a dead cert. So there's definitely, you've got to give Tuchel time. This is his chance now to build his squad. I don't think we're going to be out of the top four at all, personally, because there's talk now with Azpilicueta staying, good old Dave is staying, because it could actually save Chelsea potentially 20 to 30 million on a right back that they were going to get in as cover. And they can put that extra,
Dave Sadley is not what he was. He's been a fantastic servant.
Good backup, though. Good backup.
He's as backup, yes. As a squad player, yes. Not as a main player. But I think also it was Chelsea to say to Barcelona, fuck off. You've nabbed a few players that we wanted. And no, you can't have Dave. Simple as that.
You can have Alonso, but you can't have Dave.
Yeah.
But I think realistically,
Alonso, a lot of people knock Alonso. He scored goals for us.
No, goals. Yeah, I agree. Look, I've nothing against Alonso, but I do think it's time to move on. And I think Cucurella and Ben Chilwell are not bad options to have as your two left backs. You can see what Tuchel wants. He's bringing in world-class players. Let's not forget, it's come out this evening that he wants Fofana and De Jong and a striker. So there is potential here of 300 million being spent this summer, which is very, 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 very possible. It seems like, they're listening to Tuchel, and getting all those players in this summer, over the next 2 or 3 years with Tuchel, we'll see what he's all about. He's going to, I mean, the players we're linked with are great. I mean, the Frankie de Jong one would just be hilarious, personally, because I think he's a fantastic player. Even Gary Neville came out and said he heard as well that it's either Barcelona or Chelsea for him. He's not even considering United. So I don't know how true that is, but Romano has also hinted at that he would be very, very happy to go to Chelsea. So still more to come in, but let's talk about what we have now. We have a game coming up on Saturday, first game of the season. And of course, it has to be away to the Merseyside Blues, our bogey team, one of our least favourite grounds in England, Goodison Park, and Frank Lampard's Everton, who have had a bit of a shocker during pre-season themselves. But,
yeah, they have.
So it's an interesting game, this one, isn't it? Because obviously, this is really a chance for us to make a statement now. 5 subs as well, don't forget. So I assume the front three is probably going to go something along the lines of Mount, Sterling, and Hazard, or Havertz, should I say? I wish Hazard was there. Havertz, or you could potentially see Pulisic in there and switch Mount somewhere in the midfield. But I think he'll go with the three, with the 3-4-3. Kante has looked fantastic, by the way, in pre-season, just wanted to say. And Kovacic is Kovacic. Jorginho has done pretty well in pre-season too. So interesting times. What are you looking forward to Saturday evening game?
Yeah, yes and no. Everton is not our, one of our favourite grounds. We don't seem to do very well there, nor St James's Park, as we talked about before we came on air. Although I think last season we did okay at Newcastle, but Everton generally, we don't seem to do well there for whatever reason. And last season proved the point, when we lost there. So, which saved Everton's backsides.
Yeah, we don't owe Frank a favour. It's an interesting one. I'm going to do a pre-match probably tomorrow or Saturday with the great Mark Meehan as well of the Chelsea Fancast. So we'll probably know a little bit more who's fit, who's in the squad and whatnot. But I still think, regardless of anything, we definitely have enough in that squad to still, keep our third position. And I think with those additional incomings, don't forget, we've heard Romano also and a couple of other journalists say, Nathan Ginning, I think his name is, he's the new guy this year. He's been pretty good, saying that they wouldn't sleep on Ronaldo yet also. And there's talk about other potential strikers coming in. Listen,
I'm not crazy on Ronaldo. Sterling, I think, is going to be a great signing for us. I think he's going to do really, really well.
But look, I think Ronaldo as a striker, I don't know what Chelsea fans want. You don't so you're saying he's not going to fit in for a year or two. Well, he is, because he's going to score you 20 goals minimum. I mean, are we buying in a striker to track back? Because then we're going against the false nine.
As I said earlier, we're used to having a centre forward in our team, and maybe now, maybe we've evolved and we're no longer that team that has a centre forward, and we're going to have strikers and midfielders and players even from the back that can score goals. And maybe that's how Chelsea will start to play now, a bit like City. And City play brilliant football. Yeah, and I won't complain if we play like City.
Well, I have faith in Havertz anyway. I think he's going to be world class without a shadow of a doubt. There's no doubt that he will. And here's another prediction: if Ronaldo comes in, guarantee it, Chelsea fans within 3 games, all of a sudden are happy to have him, because he score a belter of a goal or a winner somewhere, and it'll be all. You know what I mean? We're a fickle bunch as football fans, and that goes for every football team.
That was like when Mark Hughes came to Chelsea.
Yeah,
people didn't want him, and then he became a fucking hero. So
exactly.
He won us the FA Cup, and he won us a few other things. So
so it's one of those things. But I mean, look, I wouldn't be opposed to Ronaldo. I've heard it's been linked with Aubameyang and Depay, whatever way you say his name, from Barcelona. I'd be more interested in Ronaldo than either of those two, if I'm being honest with you. I don't see it. Look, I suppose at the same time, I'm not going to be a hypocrite also, because I have said, look, I'll back the manager and whatever the manager wants. If it's a player that I absolutely despise and Tuchel wants him, they have my support, and I think the manager deserves the support. You know,
he won us the Champions League and the World Club Cup, so
Yeah.
and the Super Cup, so we can't really complain.
No.
That's a bad season.
Exactly. So at this moment in time, then, let's play a little bit of a football manager here. If you're going on Saturday with the current squad, because I can't see a new signing coming in, maybe someone will get announced tomorrow, but I can't see them in the squad until the next game. So with what we currently have, what is your prediction for formation and the first 11?
I don't know who we're going to pick at all, because we've got so many players now. It's hard to even think about TT's mind and who he's going to play at the back, whether he plays, the two central defenders, or maybe he'll if we get the Brighton guy in, we just don't know. Midfield, I think we're definitely going to see Kante. That's without doubt. Mount, I'm sure, will be in the team, and I think Sterling will definitely be in the team without question.
Kovacic has got to be in there too, right?
Well, one hopes so. And at the back, it depends who's fit. Is Chilwell fit? We've also got
Koulibaly.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Koulibaly, but also
Thiago.
Our English player, who I can't even think of his name now.
Chalobah.
No, I can't even think of his name. I can see his face, and I can't even think of his name.
Well, there's a couple of them gone now, because we had like Ampadu hasn't got a squad number. Levi Colwill hasn't got a squad number.
Well, he's due to go, isn't he, Colwill?
Colwell's going. Ampadu hasn't got a squad number, so I can't see him in there. The only other English centre back is Chalobah, no?
No.
Reece James.
Reece James, that's what I'm saying, on the back, attacking.
Oh, right back. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So I think you're definitely going to have Reece James in the team as well. It's and as I said, Sterling definitely up front. Probably, as you said, Havertz and Mount as well. But I'm a huge Timo fan. I know a lot of people hate him, and I've said this all along. Timo is not a striker. He is an attacking midfielder. He just happened to have a fantastic season at the German club where he scored loads of goals. But Lampard scored loads of goals, and he's a midfielder. Yeah. And I just think Timo is not a striker. He should be played up front. He should be played just behind the strikers.
That's where he played with. That's where he played with Leipzig. I think it was with the big guy, wasn't it? He was either your man Sebastian Haller or the guy that maybe he went to West Ham, didn't he? He played just behind him as like a shadow striker. Yeah, you're right.
And it's also where he plays with Germany. He doesn't play as a striker. So I just think we play Timo in the wrong position. And if he was played as an attacking midfielder, I think we get a lot more out of it. And he works so bloody hard. He never gives up, and that's what I love about him.
Would have been nice to see a bit more experimentation with Havertz as the main focal point, and then maybe Timo playing in behind him. That probably would have been nice to try out for a few games, because that's all he had, I think Broja needs to step up, definitely. I mean, six Premier League goals last year. He kind of went off the boil a little bit at the second half of the season, but
it was Southampton, you're talking about down at the bottom. So
yeah. But I mean, he's definitely got potential. Definitely potential.
If he has the service, with the right players giving him the right balls, he could be knocking in the goals. Yeah,
no, 100%. And look, there's 5 subs this year. We have to keep stressing that. There's a case that you could see Timo and Broja come on, at the weekend. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I'm going to have to get a score prediction off you, obviously.
It's a tough one. People forget a few seasons ago where we lost 3-0 to Arsenal. In the first half, we were 3-0 down. And was it Conte who changed the whole system? Yeah. And we played a lot better. And we went on to win the league. So we lost 3-0 and we went on to win the league. So first game of the season, you can't read too much into it. Anything can happen. Being Goodison Park, I would say we're likely to lose 2-1 there, but we could also win 2-1.
Right. Well, I'm going to predict 3-1. So there you go. Chelsea.
But the good thing is Calvert-Lewin is injured, so that helps us. That's a big plus point for us.
It does, and Richarlison is gone as well. So there you go. But no, it's interesting.
We should have signed Richarlison. He would have been perfect for us. He would have been a Costa type player.
He would. Again, his goal output isn't amazing though. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what made me think. I think
Because he
Gabriel
was at
Jesus. I would have been more inclined to go for Jesus from Arsenal.
Yeah, well, but sadly he's gone to Arsenal. So
good young player, that guy. But yeah,
very good.
I have faith in the system. I mean, when we look at what Bowley's doing already, there's talks now scheduled, I think, for next week with your man Michael Edwards, the old Liverpool director of football. So it's exciting times if fans would just allow themselves to get excited a little bit and, you know, take a day off Twitter and stop.
But as I said earlier, you know, maybe just expect that for certainly this season, that it's not going to be a great season, that we need to solidify what we've got and build on what we've got. And then from the season after that, we can start looking to challenge for the Premiership. And I'd be happy with that. You know, we've just won the Champions League. We've just won the World Club Cup. We've just won the European Super Cup. If we have a season where we don't win anything, it's really not the end of the world.
100%, yeah. I 100% agree. Well, look, Billy, it's been a pleasure. As we wrap up, why don't you tell people where they can find you on Saturday mornings?
Well, Saturday mornings, they can find me on Mixler. Either use the app. I do have a link which I post out on Facebook and on Twitter, where I record my live show, which is the Housewife's Favorite on the Morning Show, and then from Saturday evening and all through the week, it's on 39 stations throughout the week on loads and loads of stations. But if you want to hear it live, it's on 10 a.m. Saturday morning. 100%.
Billy, it is always a pleasure, and I'm sure there's no doubt that you'll be making many appearances on the Chelsea Roar throughout the season.
I hope so.
Absolutely. You're part of the furniture now. Once you make it past 2, that's it. You're in. But no, listen, I'll be talking to you before the game and obviously Saturday morning. But let's keep the faith and keep the blue flag flying high. And
we'll all be on Twitter on Saturday, of course, during the game.
Yeah, that's going to be either a good or a bad thing. It can go either way.
It's a great family on Twitter. That, you know, it's building up. It's getting more and more. But there's about 17, 18 of us that speak regularly, and a few more have started to join the family, and it's great. And they're a great bunch. And
100%.
I'm very fond of all of them. They've been great.
Why don't you tell people where they can find you on Twitter if they want to join the family? It's not a cult, I swear, boys.
It's Billy Brown Songs on Twitter and also on Instagram, but I tend to use Twitter more than anything else. It's more fun. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Billy, until next time, keep the faith, and until maybe Saturday, guys, we'll probably have a pre-game show, just a short one, when we know a little bit more about team news and stuff like that. We'll have a little video then. But until then, for me, Ian Kelly, for Billy Brown, we are over and out. Thank you.